Avengers Doomsday is releasing this year, and even before it hits theaters, a new rumored plot detail for Secret Wars has already started circulating online. But before getting into that, there are two really important updates connected to Doomsday. The first is Anthony Russo explaining why the MCU story isn't complete without Chris Evans' Steve Rogers, and the second is why Reed Richards will finally be using his full comic-accurate powers in Doomsday. During interviews surrounding the release of the first Doomsday teaser, both Joe and Anthony Russo made it very clear that Chris Evans returning as Steve Rogers isn't a gimmick or a nostalgia move. To them, Steve Rogers is the emotional core of the Avengers and the larger MCU story. Russo even said this character and this story are deeply personal, and they genuinely cannot see the end of the MCU's long narrative without Steve at the center of it. And what makes this even more interesting is how Marvel handled the marketing. So far, they've released 4 sneak peeks, and across all platforms, those have already crossed 1 billion views without ever showing Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom. After those 4 teasers released, the Russo brothers posted a message saying these weren't really trailers or teasers. They called them stories and clues, and said we should be paying attention. On the surface, that sounds vague, but the more you think about it, the more it starts to make sense. These teasers aren't random. The characters being highlighted feel very deliberate. It's not just about hype, it's about setting up who actually matters to the story. One theory that's gaining a lot of traction is that these characters are being chosen because they're all connected to Dr. Doom's plan in a very personal way. There's a rumor that Doom believes his wife and son died because of a ripple in time caused by Steve Rogers traveling back and staying in the past. In Doom's eyes, that decision didn't just change history, it destroyed his reality. That would explain why Steve Rogers is such a major focus and why Doom is coming after him directly. This could explain Doom isn't just randomly attacking heroes, he's targeting them for specific reasons tied to what they've done and what they represent in the multiverse. Now let's shift to Reed Richards, because this is another huge piece of Doomsday that hasn't been fully talked about yet. According to insider James Mack, Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards is going to be far more powerful in Doomsday than what we saw in the Fantastic Four First Steps. We're talking about abilities pulled straight from the comics, not watered down versions. Simple things like Reed turning himself into a parachute may sound small, but that's Marvel signaling they're finally leaning into how broken Reed Richards can actually be. Even more important, Reed is reportedly sharing a lot of screen time with Dr. Doom, which makes sense considering their rivalry is one of the most important in Marvel history. On top of that, Doomsday isn't just sticking to Avengers and Fantastic Four. Talo is reportedly returning, meaning Shang-Chi's corner of the MCU is directly involved. Xu Shiling and Katie are also said to return, which confirms that Doomsday is pulling from every major corner of the multiverse saga. Now this brings us to the biggest rumor of all, Avengers Secret War. According to Scooper Majestic, Secret Wars takes place 8 years after the events of Doomsday. By that point, the multiverse has fully collapsed, and everything converges into the void, creating Battle World. This Battle World isn't one single place, but a patchwork world made of different domains pulled from destroyed universes, very similar to both the 1984 and 2015 versions of the comics. Just like Endgame jumped forward in time, Secret Wars is expected to do something similar, showing how the survivors adapted. There will be alternate and darker versions of heroes, and the Infinity Stones return, with the Soul Stone becoming the most important. Is said to be able to strip cosmic power without destroying the body, which directly ties into Doom becoming a godlike figure. In this version of Secret Wars, the Avengers are redefined. Characters like Deadpool, Reed Richards, Wolverine, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man all operate as Avengers. Doom, meanwhile, builds a massive prison to contain heroes, villains, and cosmic beings alike. Just like we saw in the leaked concept art, Doom eventually takes over Reed Richards' family. Sue becomes his wife, and Franklin and Valeria are raised as his children. Their rivalry isn't just ideological anymore, it's deeply personal, rooted in a science and magic experiment that destroyed Doom's world and family because of Reed. This is Doom at his most dangerous, not a conqueror for power, but someone who believes he's fixing a broken reality. The only safe places left in the multiverse are the Quantum Realm and the TVA ships built by Ouroboros, and there's a mysterious unnamed character who plays a major role. That character could very well be Wanda. Scarlet Witch is rumored to return in a huge way, creating a hex over Battleworld so no one remembers their past lives. Doom manipulates her into doing this, and that sets up Wiccan's Speed and the champions going on a mission to rescue their mother. When you look at all of this, Secret Wars really feels like the final collision, where everything Marvel has built over decades comes together in one massive story. So what do you think about the leaked storyline for Secret Wars? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.